Now, let's look at the verb to be and its imperfect and future tense forms. You will need to have your green chart out, and once you have it in front of you, pause the video and fill in all of the boxes with the imperfect and future tense forms. Also make sure to fill in the sample translation boxes to the right. I know it must feel completely overwhelming to see more new verb forms in one class period, but I want to assure you that what we're focusing on right now is a very specific part of each verb inflection for the regular verbs on your blue chart and for each verb form on the green chart for the verb to be. Once again, I want to draw your attention to the last letter of each word. Look at the first person singular column. What ending do you see on each of those verb forms? The letters O or M. Remember that O and M represent the subject I. This is no different than it is on the blue chart. Now move forward and look at the second person singular column. Do you see how every word ends with the letter S? That's how we will know the subject of the verb is you. When we move to the third person singular column, we see the letter T on each verb in that column. This helps us to know that no matter what tense we're looking at, when we see the ending T, we know that the subject is he, she, or it, or any nominative singular noun in the sentence. Now look at the plural columns. First person plural represents the subject we, and we have been learning that MUS is the ending that we'll see on a verb when we is the subject. Do you see it on all of the forms of to be in the first person plural column? And when we look at the second person plural column, do you notice that they all end with TIS? That's because the letters TIS represent the subject you when it is plural. And when we finally get to the third person plural column, you should notice immediately that every verb ends with the letters NT, because NT represents the pronoun subject they, which will be the subject of each one of these verbs. Remember that with the third person plural, we can also use two or three singular nouns as a subject, or even a plural nominative case noun as a subject. You've been looking at a lot today, and it may be too much to take in. So let's focus on the essential takeaway. Whenever you see a verb in a Latin sentence, understand that the ending on that verb represents a specific subject. It is your job to know which subject is represented by which inflectional ending. You need to know that as well as you know the alphabet in your own language. What will you do to commit this information to memory? Make a plan now and put it into action.